Horror Suspense Sleep Curse. Haunted Farmhouse Language English. Episodes 1 to 15 complete. Episode 1, The Sleep That Never Returns. Varan Ruin's farmhouse stood deep in the woods, far from civilization. Decades of abandonment had rotted its structure, and local folklore had labeled it cursed. Emily Watson, a real estate developer from California, was determined to restore it. With her were for friends Jake Collins, an architect, Rachel Moore, a historian, Daniel Brooks, a photographer, and Linda Hayes, a sleep researcher. They planned to spend one night there before renovation. As night fell, Linda set up her equipment to study their sleep. At exactly 1:33 a.m., a whisper was recorded: "Who sleeps? Must forget ... By morning, Daniel was dead, eyes wide open, unblinking, and ice cold. Episode 2, The Door That Opens Before Sleep. Jake discovered Daniel lying motionless. Emily screamed. Rachel tried CPR, but it was useless. Linda checked the sleep data and found spikes. Right before 1:33 a.m., she replayed the whisper. Everyone heard it. A chill ran down their spines. Jake noticed something odd, a door at the end. The hallway that hadn't been there before. That paint looked newer than the rest of the house. Behind it, an empty, cold room with a rusted iron bed and scratch marks all over the walls. That night, Linda couldn't sleep. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw a dark silhouette above her. When she opened them, it was gone, but her recorder captured it whispering her name. Episode 3, Rachel's Discovery. Rachel dug into the history of the farmhouse. A man named Elijah Varan built it in 1892 after his wife's death. He became obsessed with sleep experiments. Villagers reported screams and strange dreams before the house was abandoned. Linda, terrified but curious, insisted they stay another night to gather more evidence. Emily agreed hesitantly. That night, Rachel had a nightmare Elijah standing over her bed, whispering, "Sleep is not peace, it is prison." She woke up screaming. On her arm, scratch marks that weren't there before. Episode 4, The Sleep Recordings Deepen. Linda reviewed everyone's recordings. At exactly 1:33 a.m., heart rate spiked. Each person heard a different whisper in their sleep. Jake heard his mother's voice. Emily heard a child crying. Rachel heard her own voice begging to wake up. The scratches on Rachel's arm darkened. Linda noticed they formed a pattern, an ancient sleep symbol. That night, Jake placed a camera in the hallway. At 1:33 a.m., the hallway door opened by itself, and something shadowy crawled out. Episode 5, The Hallway Between Dreams. Camera footage was grainy but horrifying. A dark figure emerged from the mysterious room and slid across the floor, entering Jake's room. Jake didn't wake up until late morning, and when he did, he remembered nothing. But he was weak and pale. His fingernails were chipped, as if he'd been scratching something in his sleep. Linda declared, "This farmhouse is a sleep trap. It feeds on dreams and seals souls inside." Emily was done. "We leave tonight." But as she reached the front door, it wouldn't open. It was locked from the outside. Episode 6, Emily's Forgotten Hours. Emily began feeling dizzy and confused. Linda checked the footage from the night before. Emily had gotten up around 2 a.m. and walked into the mysterious hallway, but she didn't remember any of it. The footage showed Emily standing in front of the iron bed, speaking in an unknown language. Unasked, she said, "I dreamed of drowning in black silk. I wasn't alone. Someone was waiting." Jake discovered old sleep experiment logs in the attic. Elijah Varan believed that sleep was a gateway to a shadow realm. He documented how his subjects stopped waking up but their eyes stayed open. Episode 7, The Waking Dream. Rachel couldn't tell whether she was awake or dreaming. Shadows followed her in both. She saw Daniel in the hallway smiling, whispering, "We're still dreaming." Linda tried to wake her, but Rachel collapsed. She was breathing but trapped in REM sleep. Jake tried calling for help, but there was no signal. Emily cried out Rachel had scribbled symbols on the walls before collapsing, the same ones in Elijah's journal. Sleep was a ritual. Linda said, "She's crossed over." Episode 8, The Sleep Circle. Linda and Jake found a locked chest in the basement. Inside, they found a circle of black candles, a sleep mask stitched from human skin, and a diary. Elijah wrote, "Sleep is the altar. The dreamer is the offering." Emily began sleepwalking again, this time with her eyes bleeding. They placed Rachel on the iron bed, hoping to reverse the curse. but Rachel began convulsing. From her mouth, a voice spoke in Elijah's tone. "You have entered the realm. Now you must pay." Episode 9, Night Without End. Everyone stayed awake the next night, or tried to, but sleep came for Jake first. He dozed off just before dawn. He screamed and woke up, but his pupils were dilated, and he didn't recognize anyone. Emily and Linda locked him in a room. She started writing furiously on the walls. "Sleep is the chain. Sleep is the gate. Sleep is Elijah." Rachel remained unconscious but murmured the same words. Two voices, same message. Episode 10, The Second Death. Jake stopped eating. He spoke only in whispers. Linda tried to sedate him, but when she approached, he bit her hand. That night, Emily fell asleep despite fighting it. In her dream, she saw all her friends chained to beds in endless hallways. Jake was already gone. Rachel's face was cracked porcelain. Emily woke up to find Jake dead. His last message written in blood: "You must return what was taken." Episode 11, Linda's Theory. Linda realized Elijah wasn't just experimenting, he had succeeded in creating a realm between waking and sleep. Anyone who slept in the house entered it, and if they weren't pulled out in time, they stayed. She theorized they could reverse it by burning the original bed, the anchor, but they'd have to stay awake until 1:33 a.m. When the gateway was fully open, Rachel's condition worsened. Her eyes bled. Her voice echoed Elijah's laughter. Episode 12, The Burn Ritual. Jake's body disappeared. Emily and Linda dragged the iron bed to the basement and doused it in kerosene. As 1:33 approached, the house shook. Rachel floated in midair, her mouth moving without sound. Linda lit the fire. The scream that erupted wasn't human. Smoke filled the house. Rachel dropped, unconscious. Episode 30, Shadows Unchained. Fire spread fast. They tried to escape, but the doors stayed shut. Rachel woke, whispering, "He's not gone, only broken." Jake's ghost appeared, his eyes empty, lips sewn shut. He pointed at the floor. Beneath the bed's ashes was a trapdoor. They opened it. Episode 14, The Realm Below. The trapdoor led to an underground chamber. Dozens of beds lined the walls, on each mummified bodies with open eyes. Linda realized these were Elijah's original subjects. In the center was a large stone inscribed with the final phrase, "Wake not by time, wake only by return." They had to bring something back. Episode 15, The Last Sleeper. Emily volunteered. She lay on the stone, let herself fall asleep. In the dream realm, she saw Jake, Daniel, and Rachel's dream selves. Elijah was there, smiling. She found Rachel's soul and grabbed it. Linda pulled Emily awake just as her pulse faded. Rachel gasped awake. The curse broke. By dawn, the house had collapsed. Only ashes remained. Rachel and Emily walked away sleepless but free.